Welcome to the Profit Share Podcast with your hosts, Linda and McKissack.
So, Gary, I was just in the middle of introducing you, so I'm just going to kind of read off your credentials. I think everyone knows who you are. Co-founder and executive chairman of Keller Williams, #1 real estate company for units, volume, and agent count, best-selling author, and #1 most influential person in real estate. And also one of your most recent awards, you hold the award for the best mustache in the industry.
Yes. Yeah.
And I wanted him to say voted by independent dark lab, but he wouldn't.
That's right. Gary,
Actually, I think it would be the longest running mustache in the real estate industry. Not necessarily the best.
That's it. Awesome. Okay. Well, Gary, thank you for being on with us this morning. We've got a group of about 1,300 people who are all on to focus on one thing today, and that's profit share.
Love it.
So Gary, what I'd love to do to start, first question for you is, can you tell us the story of profit share? How did you come up with the idea and where did it come from?
Sure. So when I was in sales management for the large real estate company in Austin back in my 20s, the owner had come up with a 1-year recruiting bonus. And that is, he took 20% of, I probably shouldn't even go through the numbers, but he took 20% of the company dollar and paid it back out for 1 year to the person who recruited someone. And I got it, and I got my people involved, and it worked. A year later, he canceled the program. And I had studied Trammell Crow in college. I have a degree in real estate. I had studied Trammell Crow in college, and Trammell Crow had created more millionaires. Now this is pre-internet, right? This is pre-digital age. Trammell Crow created more millionaires than any other business in the world, and he was in the real estate business. He was in the commercial real estate business, and he had done it through a multi-level partnership ownership strategy. You can go find, if you can find a copy, Trammell Crow Master Builder lays this, it shows you the diagram. If I were at home, I'm actually on a short vacation, by the way, which is why I'm here, and they're blowing leaves. So they had shared the equity in the properties in a multi-level approach. And through that process, they had created more millionaires than anyone else. And so I went to the owner and said, you should do this. And he said, I don't have to. I'm the largest in the city. And I went, okay, well, he's smart. I'm not. I forgot about it. And then when the recession broke out in 86, 87, it was devastating in Austin. We had, close to 5,000, around 5,000 realtors. And 2 years later, we had less than 1,800 in the board. That's how many agents got out that fast. It was devastating. It was, in Austin, it was worse than the Great Recession. The Great Recession had nothing on 87 in the, what you would call the Sun Belt, or the Rust Belt, if you will, from Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma on up. So, and Keller Williams was not, untouched. We were the largest single office real estate company in the city after just a couple of years. We had 70 or so, 72 associates, I think, press. And anyway, trying to make a long story short, next thing I knew, we were down to 38. And then Remax showed up and took 5 of our top 10 associates, and then came back and took all our employees. And next thing I knew, it was a rough year. Well, I actually, my wife of 2.5 years had just left me and literally taken everything I had. And I was just left with the company and the remaining debt on the company to buy her out. And then Joe Williams had gotten in financial challenges, and he asked me to buy him out. So I didn't have the money, so I ended up having to take out more bank debt and life insurance policies. So now I haven't made any bad decisions except in business, right? Except maybe marrying the wrong person. But yeah, now I'm knee deep in debt. I have no way of getting out. Everyone has life insurance policy, so even if I die, everybody gets paid. So I got to figure a way out. And I remember my conversations with that former owner. And so I went to some of my sales associates and said, "What do you think?" And they liked the idea. So I kind of figured out a model. At that time, it was 5 levels deep, and we paid out 20% of the company profit into this pool, and it was residual income, not profit share. And it worked. People were, people immediately got it. By the way, just as a sidebar, this is kind of the genesis of the ALC, though we didn't call it an ALC, but I called a company meeting of my associates, and I said, look, I'd like to do this. I'm going to propose it to you, but we have to have a unanimous vote. If even one person says they don't want to do it, we won't do it. By the way, there was a lady who was holding out. She didn't quite get it. And the rest of them had to huddle and help her get it. Anyway, they voted 100%. We're going to change the company. We went to this program and we grew, and we grew rapidly. The challenge was residual income had a bite to it, and the bite was selfishness, greed. The people didn't even care about the success of the business. They simply cared about their income. The other challenge with residual income is it ended up making each sponsor the manager of that person. So the next thing you know, we start, my agents would sponsor agents, and they would start trying to have team meeting huddles and things like that. And I had a real backlash. And the backlash was, number one, the culture of the organization was turning to become one of sheer greed. Nobody wanted to sell real estate. All they wanted to do was sponsor people. And number two, they didn't care how well the company did or didn't do. Whatever the company had to do to help them. And the last thing was my top agents came in and started saying, "Hey, we got a challenge." And the challenge is I'm being managed by somebody I don't want to be managed by. And it created the wrong kind of community structure and support structure. So I actually went to a consultant. I hired a top 10 consulting firm out of Dallas. I went to Dallas and I sent them everything in advance. And when I got there, and I said, "Look, I got a challenge. Would you look at this and tell me what you think?" And they looked at it. And when I got there, they said, "Well, look, we think this is a great idea. You've just made one mistake, and that's what you're feeling." And I said, "What's that?" And they said, "Well, you're violating the laws of compensation." I said, "What's that?" And they said, "You're not in alignment. You're not compensating what you want." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He said, "Well, why are you in business?" And I said, "Well," and they gave all the reasons. And he said, no, bottom line. Why are you in business? I said, "Well, okay, to make a profit." He said, "Yeah, eventually you got to make a profit." He said, "But you're not aligned. Your people are not aligned with that." He says, "If you can somehow convert this to a profit share program so everyone's aligned, and people don't care just about sponsoring, they also care about the financial health of the business, then you should be good to go." So I went back, and I'd already created an ALC. So I now had to literally go to the agents and say, "We got to change the program. We need to go from residual to profit." And that was a struggle to get people to fully grasp, but ALC did its thing, and eventually they voted and changed it to profit share. So long story short, that's how you got the profit share.
Amazing. And obviously it's done okay. It's only produced about $1.8 billion in profits over the years and helped propel the W to be number one.
Yeah, that's great. And it's not near enough. The bottom line is that profit share could pay out untold amount of money if market centers were more profitable, right? This is the, yes. Yeah. If you want profit share to pay more money, just help market centers make more money. The tools are right there in front of you to do it.
Yeah.
If you want to
Gary,
pay.
and one of the things that I love is behind the scenes, Gary and Mark King have been building a plan and a model for market centers to go out and make $1 million plus. And so I love, Gary, getting to be in those rooms with you as you brainstorm and come up with ideas of how do we help make our offices more money, more profit. So there's more profit share for everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
So Gary, I know you look like, I don't know, are you in West Virginia or are you just out somewhere else?
I'm in West Virginia. Yeah, we have I don't even know.
Amazing. Well, I want to let you get back to your awesome vacation. And thank you for doing this today. Before the last question, what do you want to leave? What do you want to leave KW agents with around profit share? What's the last thought you want to leave them with? Well,
it should be part of your daily awareness. There's no reason not to do it. The money is there. Our market center ownership have agreed to put up, almost 48% of their profitability back into a pool. So you're literally partners with the market centers if you want to be. All you have to do is be aware. If you're aware, it will pay off. You want it to turn into a business, right? I challenged your mom to go do a pro forma on treating profit share as a business. And she
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Well, she came back and she said, "Wow, the dollar productivity, per hour, right, on this is pretty good. Actually, if I actually spent time talking to people." If the numbers converted, the math would actually work. So it can go from being passively earned income to being actively, right, going out talking to people and then making these warm connections. Yeah, there's, again, like you said, there's almost $2 billion have been paid to people. It's a lot of money.
And Gary, that the speed in which that is accumulating is getting faster. So you're actually saying, it took longer. Now it's getting actually, we may do the next 2 billion in a lot shorter time than we did the first 2 billion.
I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, yes, the answer is yes. We could double or triple that speed. Everyone just needs to go sell more real estate. So remember, profit share is only works if real estate agents are having their best lives. If they're having their best lives and their best career selling the most amount of real estate they can, then profit share takes care of itself, guys.
Awesome. Okay, Gary, thank you so much. And everyone put in the chat, thank you, Gary. Appreciate you.
Welcome. Thanks, guys.
Enjoy your vacation. See ya.
Yep, thank you. Bye-bye.